sinners, and saints. Dust off those horns and halos. It's time for Alan After Dark.
Sinners, saints, bitches, whores, sluts, ass munchers, dildo lickers, etc., etc., etc. How you doing? I hope you're feeling well. I hope you're feeling sexy and vivacious, and I hope you're horny if you want to be. And I'm running out of things to say right there. I'm actually just really relieved that I am past the vertigo that we were talking about last week, and I'm recording this episode upright. I don't know if that's such a great thing in comparison, but when I was laying down last week, I didn't have my legs up over my head, and there was nobody in there with me, so was it really that great? I thought the episode was funny as hell, but as far as experiences go, I know I can record while lying down, but it's really not something I want to do. Okay. A really weird thing happened the other day when I was driving downtown. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I am an observant person, and I do look, left and right and straight ahead and through my rear view mirrors. And you glance over every so often, don't you? Just, I guess, sometimes out of curiosity and sometimes out of boredom. Well, I was going down one of the main thoroughfares, and I kind of look over at the sidewalk at the bus stop there, and I had to do a double take. There was a very tall man standing there, no shirt, pants down below the level of the waist so that a large part of his underwear was exposed. But that's not what grabbed me. What grabbed me is the death mask he was wearing. Not just a skeleton type mask, but a death mask. It was very scary. And I thought, is wearing that mask enough to keep you from being allowed to get on the bus if he was waiting for the bus? And what was the reason he was wearing it? It gave me cold chills. It was really a strange thing to see. I flashed to one of the Purge movies, or two or three of the Purge movies maybe, and I thought, is this the kickoff? Is he one of the first people to lead the charge for the Forever Purge, where we just go into absolute anarchy and wipe ourselves out? There could be several reasons a person would wear that kind of scary death skull mask. I mean, part of it could be as a way of intimidating people, making people stay away from you. I mean, goodness knows, if you see someone walking down the street with a mask like that, I think you would be inclined to want to cross over to the other side of the street. It could be an artistic expression, perhaps. Maybe he's trying to make some sort of political or artistic statement. Or he could have some sort of mental health issue, and he hides behind a mask to avoid any type of confrontation or interaction with other people. Or maybe he's batshit psychotic and wants to kill all of us.
I am coming for you.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Anyway, I was just wondering if they would allow him onto the bus, and I'm guessing that they would. I mean, that's not a crime to wear a very scary mask, is it? Or is it? It might be something that's not allowed on a bus, perhaps, but who knows? Just a thought that I was having, okay? It was weird, all right? And we have enough weird things happening in the world as it is, not just to have this added on layer or something. God damn, Alan. I am talking mumbo jumbo. Mambo Italiano. That's a great movie, by the way. What? One of the things that really bugs me about the quote-unquote real world and people that are outside the gay community, they don't seem to understand that everything that happens in the world affects us too. We're a community, yes, but we exist in the same world that all of you do. And anything that is affecting you is affecting us. I guess I just wonder why so many people, especially on the right wing, think that they can portray us as not like everyday people. I know that part of their ideology is to demonize the community for their own objectives. But is there nothing in people's minds that understands that we are in the same country, in the same neighborhoods, driving the same roads, riding the same elevators, paying the same utility bills and insurance and everything else that they do? Do they really think that all we do is go to sex clubs and have orgies and act like sluts and whores all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Granted, Alan After Dark isn't probably helping, is it?
Yes.
No.
Let's be serious. We have to deal with all the same problems and consequences that everybody else does. Granted, it would be great if all we had to think about was sex and hot men and getting it on and orgies and happy hour. But of course, it's not. I have to pay my mortgage. I have to pay my water bill, my electricity bill. I have to pay my insurance. I have to get up and go to work and put in my hours to collect a paycheck. I have plumbing problems at my home. I have flat tires sometimes. I have to deal with a crazy family like all of you do. So when I talk about things, especially things that are sexual, it really is a form of escape. It is a way to, for a few minutes, go on holiday, let all that stuff go for just a little while, and just, I don't know, just be free for a few minutes just to chat with all of you, my friends, and indulge and not have to think about all of our problems. And maybe for a second you can think of someone who's horny all the time, and maybe that is a form of escapism too. Temporarily leaving your problems behind for an orgasm. When you think about it that way, it's not so bad, is it? It really isn't. I swear to God, though, if I could afford a maid, Jesus Christ, I would love to have a maid. I just have so much trouble keeping my house clean. It is just a pain in the yaya sisterhood keeping this place clean. I think being kicked in the balls would be less painful sometimes than cleaning a toilet.
Ew.
And I wish I was mechanically inclined, and I wish I was good at repairing things, and I'm not. Even when I have the instructions and a YouTube video, I just know my limitations, okay? But sometimes there are certain things that you have to do. And in the effort to attempt my quote-unquote spring cleaning, I decided that I needed to really be more organized and really start throwing some things away. But I thought, I really need to get more shelf space, and there was a sale on, and you know those, it's a shelf, but it's like cubes, and you can put the cute little boxes that can slide in and out in each cube. Well, I got one of those. Of course, I'm the one who has to put it together, and like a few people do, I start with reading all the instructions, trying to read through them, trying to understand what to do, inventorying all the pieces that I need to put together to make sure they're there, lay it all out, and begin the work, always with the instructions right beside me. And this is a 3-tiered, 9-cube shelf, a little bit bigger than I've handled before. So, in typical Allen style, I'm following the instructions exactly as it says, and my cube shelf is not coming out the way it looks on the instructions. And I'm really getting frustrated and reading through them again. And I'll put 2 sections of the cube shelf together. I'll go for that third bottom part. I'll put the bottom piece on. The top piece falls off. Literally, I'm sitting here trying to juggle both ends and press it together just to make sure that I can complete it. So something like that for you smart folks out there might take you 30 minutes. Well, it's going to take me 2 hours. But I gotta say, it looks damn good. It's over there next to the wall, and I'm happy I have it. Now, the thoughts of ever carrying that thing out of here, should I move, well, that's a different story, okay? Lord, have mercy. You know, I worked in a gay bar for almost 10 years. My first boss, who was the owner of the bar, let's call him Kurt. He could be as flamboyant and as gay as any gay person can. In fact, on his birthday, he would usually do drag. He's the owner of the bar, so he's having to wear a lot of hats. That includes doing things that we would probably define as butch. One of the memories that makes me laugh so much is as we always had trouble with our ice machine. And you know that ice is critical for a bar. Every glass pretty much has ice in it. Well, he was having to service the ice machine and he needed to wash it all out. So he had his big hose and he was washing it as I was bringing in dishes and things to put them in the dishwasher. And all of a sudden, I hear this, oh God. He had dropped the hose and the hose was spraying water all over the back room. And he was tiptoeing around with his hands up in the air trying to reach down and grab that hose. And I was yelling at him, turn it off, turn it off. But he didn't. He finally grabbed it. It was just a comical thing watching him at first do this butch activity and then totally queen out when he dropped the hose. It was flawless, girl. It was absolutely hilarious. And yeah, I just queened out myself there, so fuck all y'all. What I'm basically saying with all this talk is you really shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Do I need to say that again for the folks sitting in the back? I didn't think so. Well, Sinners and Saints, I had another sex dream, and it involved the same guy that my last one did. You know, Jeff, who I've known for over 20 years, and he's a bartender at my favorite bar. Straight, engaged to be married. I guess just because we're such good friends that I can tell him things like this. And I was at the bar early for happy hour, and it was just he and I chatting before people started coming in. And I said, hey, I want you to know that I had another sex dream that involved you. And this time it was more than what we did the last time. I don't know, you would expect perhaps a straight guy to react a certain way, but he is the coolest guy. And he looked at me and he said, was I good? And I was like, oh man, you didn't really have to do anything in this dream. You were the one driving the car. And that's all I'm going to say. But it's great when there are people that are so chill about sexuality and people that he didn't take that as some sort of come on or an insult or an attack, but actually as a compliment that he could have fun with. And I really wish that everybody could feel that way. I know there's some people that would take me telling them about a sex dream as if I was trying to imply that I really wanted to have sex with them. Now, sometimes that might be the case, but not always. Because I believe if you talk to these professional dream interpreters, most of the things that we dream about aren't really what it's about. I think that's what they always say. But I don't know how, if I'm blowing a guy while he's driving a car, how could that be defined as anything else? Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Oh my God, I gotta bring something else up that kind of goes along with the beginning of this episode and the guy wearing the skull death mask. Well, I was grocery shopping this morning, my standard route I take on the streets that I normally go, and suddenly there was this man standing at the edge of the street, and he was, at first, appeared to be just an average looking guy, and all of a sudden, it appeared he was going to jump out in front of my car. I saw that he seemed to be stepping in a way that he was going to do it, so I yanked the car over hard to the right to go around and add more space between me and him. And when I did that, he kind of reached his arm out. I think he gave me the bird or something. It really freaked me out. And unfortunately, I was approaching a traffic light that I probably should have ran. It was yellow turning to red, but I stopped at the light and I could see him in my rearview mirror, and I'm like begging the light to change. Just like, please hurry and change to green, as I could see the man walking toward me in my rearview mirror. Two other cars come up behind me and the light had still not changed. And he seemed to confront the person in the car behind me. And I'm like, please, light, please, will you change? For goodness sake. He then is right beside me, but he keeps on walking. He says something that I can't understand, and he just walks out into the street. The light turns green, and I need to turn left, but he is standing there. And I'm trying to turn, and I'm deciding on, is he going to step forward? Is he going to step backwards? Finally, I just say, you know what? He's standing there. I'm just going to zoom around him. And I do. And I hear him screaming at me, fuck you, you motherfucker. I want you to die. And I was like, holy shit, what the hell? It was really, really freaky thing to happen. And I had to look up into the sky to see for sure that it wasn't a full moon. And I just am bracing myself now that if it was that crazy at 6 a.m. this morning, I can only imagine how crazy it's going to be the rest of this evening. It is a bear night, so there's no telling what could happen, but it really did freak me out. It was a strange experience that I would have saved that experience for Halloween, actually, but it was such a traumatic experience, I wanted to get it out today. And once again, though, it's just my luck, isn't it? I seem to have the worst luck when it comes to things like that. And in fact, the other day, I was downtown, and I always thought that I was intimidating looking. But apparently I'm not, because people do tend to approach me for whatever reason. And as I'm going down across the walking bridge, I see a woman standing at the edge of the bridge. And I'm like, she's just standing there and she's looking at me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm talking to my mom on the phone. I have my earbuds in. I think I can just walk on by and everything will be fine. But the closer I got, the more I could tell that she really was laser focused on me. And it is a bit troubling because we do have a bit of a homeless problem in our city, and a lot of the homeless have mental health issues. Well, she didn't hesitate. When I got close enough, she comes right toward me. She's walking right at me. At first I'm nervous, but then she says, excuse me, I need some help. I need some directions. And I'm like, okay. And up close, it really did strike me with a bit of horror. Her face was bruised and scabbed, and I don't know if it's a result of her taking drugs like crystal meth, or if she had maybe fallen and hurt herself, or if somebody had attacked her. She asked for directions to a certain street, and I knew why she was asking for that street, because there are a couple of shelters on that street that would be able to help a homeless person. And so I was like, well, you go back down this street all the way down to a certain point, you turn left, you go up and over the hill, and there's a little bit of a bridge, you go across that, and you'll be heading in the direction that you're looking for. She was really kind of confused. She wanted to go the other direction, and I kept insisting, no, you need to go that direction. That's at least the shortest way. You're going the wrong way if you go this way. And she finally just said, okay, well, thank you. I was like, okay. And I went on my way. At first, I could hear her right behind me. And of course, my instincts are heightened. If somebody is approaching you from behind, you never know if it's somebody who's going to attack you or just walk on by, or if it's a jogger, run on by. But she didn't, and I went into the building that I needed to go to, and when I came out, she was gone, and I assumed that she went up the street that I instructed her to. But that's just a couple of things, actually 3 things that have happened in just the past few days that have really freaked me out, I guess, in a way. The guy this morning, I was worried that he could remember my car, and by the time I was finished grocery shopping, could he be waiting out there trying to pick me out? I have a very unique hair color for my beard, so I do stand out, and that would be something that people could remember. Ah, the negative side of being a unique individual, right? I really wish that incident, why couldn't it be something like Henry Cavill with nothing but underwear on, standing on the side of the road, waving for me, asking me to pick him up. And he pays me back graciously with nature's credit card. That would be so nice. Of course, the way my life is going, I'd be riding on him, my ass cheeks bouncing like I'm in a rodeo, and he'd wind up being a psychotic killer who would slash my throat in the middle of everything. But hell, what a way to go. Where in the hell does the time go, sinners and saints? I really wish I knew. It just flies when we're having so much fun, doesn't it? I hope you've had a good time. I certainly have. And I hope I get to see you next week again, all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. But until then, remember, take life by the balls and be real. We'll see you soon. Thank you.